The saying that you're not successful until you have good successes played out clearly as the Mass Communication Department of the University of Lagos honored one of their amiable lecturers, Professor Ralph Akinfeleye, who has been with the institution for over 4 decades. Professor Ralph Akinfeleye is an accomplished media and communications expert, a distinguished professor and an erudite communications scholar. Fondly called the media Jagaban of Africa, he has been described as a scholar who combines the theoretical and practical aspects of mass communication exceptionally well. He is a consummate teacher who instills the love for learning in all his students. Little wonder he was honored with the first shrift, titled Issues in the Fourth and Fifth Estates of the Realm. The book presentation, which was held at the Adeajayi Hall of the University of Lagos on Thursday, the 27th of January 2022, was well attended by media bigwigs, majority of whom have passed through the tutelage of Professor Ralph Akinfeleye. There were also colleagues, associates, well-wishers and students of the Department of Mass Communication, University of Lagos. The Vice-Chancellor, University of Lagos, Professor Oluwatoyin Ogundipe, was represented at the event by the Deputy Vice-Chancellor, Management and Services, Professor Luciano Binnachuku. The chairman of the occasion, Are Afe Babalola, the founder and Chancellor, Afe Babalola University at Ado-Ekiti, was represented by Chief Boyega Oyewole, SCN. The chief presenter, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, was represented by the Publicity Secretary of the All Progressives Congress, APC, Lagos State, Honorable Sheye Oladejo. Others were Mr. Biodun Shobanjo, Chairman, Troika Holdings, Dr. John Momo, Chairman Channels Television, Honorable Abike Dabirerewa, Chairman, Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, Prince Dr. Bisi Olatilo, the Chairman and CEO BISCON Communications, who was the Chief Master of Ceremony at the event, Dr. Ruben Abati, Oba Olufemi Adeumi Ogunleye, the Arele Olowo of Owu Kingdom, and many other important personalities. In the remarks of Professor Luciano Binnachuku, the Deputy Vice-Chancellor of the University of Lagos, who represented the Vice-Chancellor of the University, Professor Oluwatoyin Ogundipe, he said Professor Ralph Akinfeleye has worked meritoriously for 4 decades without blemish. Highlighting his contributions to the Mass Communication Department of the University of Lagos, Professor Lucian Chukwu said Professor Ralph Akinfeleye was the man who first conceived the idea for the establishment of radio stations in Nigerian universities, a move that gave birth to the first university campus radio station, Unilag FM.
This is an event whose time has come. Professor Akinfeleye retired meritoriously from the services of this university a few years back. We have honored him at several fora and would have continued to still honor him with this book launch, but we're all aware of the corona pandemic that has been ravaging the world since 2020. Mr. Chairman, sir, and distinguished guests, why do you want to honor Professor Akinfeleye with a first script? Professor Akinfeleye has paid his dues. Professor Akinfeleye has been one of those pillars that have nurtured our mass communication department and taken it to the global arena, where today, just mention that you're from the University of Lagos Mass Communication Department. Definitely, you will see that anywhere in the media world, you will have one alumni or the other ready to receive you in any sphere of life.
In the opening remarks of the chairman of the occasion, Are Afe Babalola, who was represented by Chief Gboyega Oyewole SCN, he said Professor Ralph Akinfeleye is a thoroughbred academic whose exploits in the field of journalism and mass communication remain commendable.
As the father of the day, I want to congratulate the man we are all celebrating today, Professor Ralph Akinfeleye, fondly called Media Jagaban of Africa, on this milestone event. I've always known Professor Akinfeleye as a thoroughbred academic whose exploits in the field of journalism remains commendable. His acclaimed brilliance and the very professional ways he conducts himself are praiseworthy. He is sartorial and always well-dressed. You can hardly miss him out in a crowd. He is kind, generous, loving, respectful, gentle, and a harmless man. He is always ready to help people. He is always ready to help people around him. Above all, he is an expert on this subject matter. Professor Akinfeleye was one of the progressive and courageous lecturers who helped me during my 7-year stint as the Pro-Chancellor and Chairman of Council of the University of Lagos. You all know the story of my tenure as the Pro-Chancellor of this great university. This was when the UNILAG campus was riddled with a cornucopia of problems, including but not limited to the outreach center in Korea scandal, where UNILAG certificates were being issued to people without the approval of the university senate, ASU crisis, and student unions' restiveness. I have tremendous respect for him because of his forthrightness, downrightness, uprightness, maturity, and cooperation.
As the chairman of the First Shrift Committee, Chief Fasi A. Yusuf, in his remarks, appreciated the other major contributors to the success of the book, the likes of Professor Innocent Okoye, Professor Lai Esho, Professor Patrick, and Professor Abigail Ugwezin Desika. They were all appreciated for their excellent works on the book.
Greatest of the greatest of the greatest of the greatest. Well, I'm supposed to open the stage by giving the opening remarks, but so many things have been said that I would not want to kill those issues. But importantly, let me say that the idea of having this compendium of essays in honor of our big brother, a teacher of teachers, and a man who is so restless that most times he will have been in the airport before telling me that I'm out of the country. I've had the opportunity of traversing the world with him for WJEC, from Singapore to South Africa, from there to Canada, from there to France, from there to New Zealand. But for COVID-19, well, I've been thinking of being in China now. So when he was retiring from the university, we thought of what we could do to at least acknowledge his contributions to the society. Because here is a man who has succeeded in bridging the gap between the town and the gown.
Fondly called the Media Jagaban of Africa, the man of the day, Professor Ralph Akinfeleye, in his fashionable greeting style, appreciated guests who graced the ceremony. He also thanked God and all those who contributed to the development of the book. He said he was grateful to witness the great day. While analyzing the title of the first shrift, Professor Ralph Akinfeleye urged the fourth estate of the realm not to slip away from its sport, adding that the fifth estate of the realm, which he calls information traffickers, who are on the rise, have caused major harm than good to the media space. He called on passionate media practitioners to raise the standards of professionalism.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, members of the fourth estate of the realm, you already know them, right? Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, members of the fourth estate of the realm, you already know them, right? Includes the print, the radio, and television. But members of the fourth estate, the fifth estate, it's not we the people. Others say there should not be any fifth estate of the realm. But are the social media people journalists? Do they practice journalism? Do they have any training, whether on the job or otherwise? To say the least, ladies and gentlemen, I call them information traffickers. They traffic on fake news and items that lack surface credibility. Will you keep the fifth estate? No. My candidate opinion, both the fourth estate and the fifth estate must work simultaneously to bridge the gap. Issues in the fourth estate of the realm, Mr. Chairman, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the answers to this question posed, whether the fifth estate should remain or not remain, or should be no agenda for the fifth estate, or match fifth estate with fourth estate. The answers are contained in the book we are about to read. Issues pedagogical purity to this occasion. Happy reading. Thank you for honoring me today. As you honor me, God will honor you. As you honor me, God will preserve you. As you try to lift me up, God will lift you up. The Lord will be with you. He will keep you. He will make his face shine upon you, now and forevermore. Amen. Thank you very much and kind attention.
In the goodwill messages of Dr. John Momo, Honorable Abike Dabiri-Arewa, and Dr. Ray Ekbu, they all spoke highly of Professor Ralph Akinfeleye, describing him as the Colossus of African journalism, a man with an unmatched intellect, unassuming personality with an outstanding passion for the use of descriptive language.
Professor Ralph Akinfeleye is a teacher, we all know that. He's a teacher's teacher, a scholar, an administrator, foremost mass communication expert, and journalism maestro. He taught me, he not only taught me and helped me graduate, he taught my wife and helped my wife graduate. So from whatever vantage point you might know him, Professor Akinfeleye is a mass communication expert and colossus of African journalism. Indeed he is.
Thank you so much for all you've done for every one of us. Professor Akinfeleye is a good teacher who inspires hope, ignites the imagination, and instills a love of learning. We've heard from everybody here. And I stand here proud and tall to say that for a lot of us that have passed through Prof, we wouldn't be where we are if we didn't go through your tutelage and your expertise and your knowledge. Professor Akinfeleye deeply, truly, and genuinely cares about his students. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Who else, like John said, will gather this array of journalists here? And apart from caring for his students, he cares about the profession. Every time we have a conversation about journalism, and is worried about the way journalism is going. And I believe that is why Prof put this book together.
It was a very innovative approach to learning and teaching. And I filled the form, and I said to him, there is something here that I have to tell you. I've learned a lot here in the last 9 months, but it's just the theory of it. If I hadn't worked in a newspaper before coming here, I would not take my master's degree and go out and just work in a newspaper unsupervised. So I think that we have to marry town and gown. And I suggested well, you should bring some professionals who are well educated to come and talk to your students, while your own professors can also go to the industry to learn practically what they are teaching. And he took it to heart, and I know that he himself, he came to work with us in Concord, and I'm sure he benefited from it. He went elsewhere, he worked with some UN organizations in the area of public relations and advertising. And I would say that Professor Akinfeleye is what I would call a complete town and gown man, a major of theory and practice. Prof, thank you very much and congratulations.
Dr. Ayo Shobanjo on his part later commended Professor Ralph Akinfeleye for his great works in the last 4 decades.
So, Prof, there's been a lot that's been said about you. I want to congratulate you and wish you continued successes. It was only this afternoon that I got to know that your wife and yourself are in fact in the same profession. Bringing knowledge to people and making them better people as they grow up. Once again, congratulations, and I wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thereafter, the book was reviewed by Dr. Ruben Abati and presented by the representative of the chief presenter, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
So on behalf of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, two-term Governor of Lagos State, the Jagaban Bogo presidential hopeful, I want to launch this great book and recommend it to all and sundry. Wait for it. I don't want to be misquoted. I didn't come here with a bullion van. The Asiwaju will be getting back to you with a very handsome donation to launch this book, but he has asked me to recommend this for all and sundry for our mutual benefit. Thank you very much. God bless you.
The vote of thanks was given by Professor Abigail Ogwezin Desika, former HOD, Mass Communication Unilag, which brought the event to an end. From BISCON Communications, its congratulations to an outstanding media and communications scholar, Professor Ralph Akinfeleye.